I was in the store, actually, that I was acquainted with the products of the company that I work for now, Purica, and they focus more on medicinal mushrooms or natural anti-inflammatories. And when I talk about medicinal mushrooms, I'm not talking about the magic kind that get you high. I'm talking about stuff like lion's mane, reishi, cordyceps, turkey tail, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I started looking into them. I was like, mushrooms, I don't know, you stir fry them, shiitake, oyster, that sort of thing. And then you start looking into it and you find out that lion's mane is one of the most potent stimulators of nerve growth factor that you can get from your diet. And
Mm-hmm.
if you look at cordyceps, there's cordyceps that Purica produces can increase ATP by around 30%. It's a huge amount. And then you've got other things like reishi that's really good for reducing cortisol. You've got turkey tail that's been used in Japan to actually help combat breast cancer. All of these really powerful things. So I was hooked. I was blown away by the company. Before I'd even met anyone from Purica, I was taking their supplements because I got a good discount on them when I bought them at the store.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest ones for me were like cordyceps and lion's mane. Wow. For like jujitsu, anything aerobic, like anything where you're pushing yourself physically, cordyceps is like a cheat code, man. Honestly, you just don't get tired like you used to. It's
Mm-hmm.
incredible. And I've come off it a couple of times because I'm like, no, it's just in my head. But you come off it and you're like, you notice that drop. You just can't go as long as you could before. And then I take lion's mane too, and I've noticed like subtle changes in memory and being able to like focus for long periods of time when I don't take it. But that one's a bit more like behind the scenes sort of action. But again, like for
Mm-hmm.
these sort of powerful things that you can take that are completely natural and don't hurt you, I think they're incredible. Really,
Mm-hmm.
really cool stuff.
And those will be in like pill form.
You can get the pill form or powder form. I always go powder. Like
And
the general rule for anyone, typically if a company offers powder and pills, you're always going to get a better deal with the powder. There's just simply less
yeah.
production cost to it, right? And there's simply less.
So what
Uh,
do you do when you take it then with just the powder? Like you put it in a drink or like?
I throw it in coffee usually, although I like to take
Oh.
breaks from coffee too because like it's just nice to maintain that caffeine tolerance. But if not, I'm a bit of a savage. I just dry scoop it. It's not, I don't advise people do that, but you can throw it in a smoothie or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can throw it in a drink. It's fine. Cordyceps honestly doesn't taste like much. Lion's mane is a bit mushroomy. So if people struggle with that, then I'd put it in a drink for sure.
And like compared to like, cause you must know Four Sigmatic then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
Cool company. I like that company.
so compared to that, like theirs is already mixed with like it's basically like a drink mix.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's super common now. Like I see them everywhere, but I'm
They're
always kind of
good.
like, yeah.
It's a good way to do it, right? And again, it's the same thing I'd advise people. I'll never turn people away from taking mushrooms, but it's like if you like the Four Sigmatic drinks, then start trying it on your own. I think they have more economical sizes of powders too.
Mm-hmm.
That's always going to be a bit better for you in terms
Yeah.
of cost, right? Like you're still going to
Those
get benefit.
those things aren't cheap. They're like a
Yeah.
couple bucks a packet.
Well, yeah, but you've got to think as well, like a lot goes into that. You got to grow the
Mm-hmm.
mushrooms, you got to process them, make sure you extract them. Like
Mm-hmm.
fungi are very sensitive species, right? They can be contaminated easily with molds and stuff. So there's a lot of safety checks and stuff that have to go into it when you're producing that sort of volume, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's understandable, but yeah, I mean, there's always ways around it. Buying your own
Yeah.
mushroom powder, making your own coffee, and then throwing it in there. There's a lot of stuff you can do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're very powerful things. And the reason I like supplementing with them so much is because they really are the truest definition of a supplement. I mean, people aren't going out every day and picking cordyceps off wild caterpillars or grabbing lion's mane and making sure to get all the mycelium out of the ground. First of all, if you did that, you'd decimate lots of land. And second of all, like, where are you going to find it? You can't control for any of these molds and stuff that are in there. So
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to be getting these things in your diet. So it's a good thing to supplement with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Conversely to having a bunch of protein shakes instead of just making your own food. right? And again,
Mm-hmm.
protein shakes, I'm not saying they don't have their value, but you shouldn't rely on them all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
that
for
sort of
sure.
thing. Whereas like mushrooms, it's that sort of thing you can take pretty much all the time to get the benefit from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's something you can't really get, at least those mushrooms.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's, yeah.
So how long have you been working with the mushroom company?
Since we're so working for them, I've been working for them since November. But I mean, they were a prominent brand in the store that I worked at before then.
Right, right.
So yeah, coming up on a year now, but I love them, honestly. Like I love that brand so much. And I just put a feeler out one day. I was like, hey, if you're ever hiring, let me know. And then my rep at the time, who's now my boss, he was like, oh yeah, I'll let you know. And then 2 months down the line, the CEO was taking me out for dinner and an interview. So I was like, this is amazing. I was super stoked.
And are they based in Vancouver?
Duncan, so on the island.
Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Mm. Yeah, super cool company. They're run by two local Duncan boys over there, and it's really, they're great. They're such a good company. And again, it's one of, obviously they care about growth, but it's not like push these products on people. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's very much like they want you to be passionate about the entire line, which I am. Like touch wood, there's nothing in there that I don't agree with. All the products they make are fantastic, and then just go out and share that passion with retailers. And if retailers respond to it and they like it and they can work with it, then great. And if they can't, or they don't align with us on a personal aspect too and what the company's about, then maybe it's not a good fit, right? But
Mm-hmm.
no, they're such a good company. I just love them. They treat me really well.